In this video I try to explain why Elektron's Digi Boxes such as Digitone, Syntakt and Digitakt are designed to complement each other rather than serve only as standalone devices. And also how this design philosophy can be a major advantage for users who embrace this synergy. So let's see why you might miss out on benefits if you use only one Elektron device at a time. Hey and welcome back to the channel. Elektron's Digi Boxes such as Digitakt, Digitone, Syntakt and the Digitone 2 and also the Digitakt 2 are well known in the music production world for their precision and versatility. But here's the thing, these devices are more than just standalone grooveboxes. They are like siblings in a band. Each one is unique, but when combined together, they become an ultra capable gang of beats and bass, I would say. So let's see why the Digi Boxes are made to perform together and how you can unlock their full potential when used as a team. So Elektron's approach encourages musicians to think modularly, dividing tasks among specialized tools. So this keeps workflows efficient and creative while enhancing both studio production and live performance. Instead of being overwhelmed by limitations, users can focus on each device's strengths and creating a cohesive sound without any compromise. As you might know, Elektron is all about integration and synergy. Each Digibox has its own distinct personality. Digitakt, for example. It excels as a sampler, turning audio snippets of field recordings into rhythmic loops and textured layers. It can play drum samples as well as melodic stuff or your weird iPhone noise recordings. Even a bit of granular synthesis is possible. So if you've ever used a single cycle waveform to mimic a synthesizer on the Digitakt, you know what I mean. Digitone, though, is a master of FM synthesis, capable of creating everything from epic pads to gritty bass lines and everything in between. So with release of the Digitone 2, they added even more different synth machines like FM drum, the Swarmer, and my personal favorite, the Wavetone machine. And with the addition of these new machines, the Digitone 2 isn't just an FM synth anymore, but a really capable wavetable synth, an FM drum synth, and a kind of like virtual analog type synth. And Syntakt is, it's a hybrid beast, blending analog and digital synthesis for a versatile range of percussion and melodic elements. It really stands out against the others because of the analog effect block, and the option to program FX scenes on the dedicated FX track is pure awesomeness and really fun to work with. Syntakt is marketed as a hybrid drum synth, combining analog with digital synthesis, but it can also do monophonic analog melody stuff. But it's monophonic. The magic happens when they start to work together. The Elektron ecosystem is designed to complement each other's strengths and weaknesses, and they can communicate seamlessly through Midi and sync. This allows you to build complex setups and layered tracks with each box handling its unique features. And if you take note of the specific features of each device, you can really take advantage of the concept behind these boxes and build a system that is insanely capable. Sure, each Digibox can function as a standalone unit, and that being said, they are actually really capable grooveboxes. You can absolutely create full tracks on just the Digitakt or the Digitone, but when you combine them together, you unlock possibilities that a single box simply can't achieve. More voices and tracks, for example. Instead of being limited to one device's tracks, you can spread your ideas across multiple machines. Or specialization. Let each device focus on what it does best. No need to compromise between drums, synths and samples. Or take hands-on control. With multiple devices you gain more knobs and faders to tweak live. It's like having an expanded control surface over all these devices at once. So let's look at how these devices complement each other. In this example I use the Syntakt as my main drum synth, because of the analog goodness and the analog drive for sure. It just makes the drums stand out in a way and cut through the mix very, very well. Since I don't have an analog Rytm and sometimes miss the features of stacking samples on the analog drums, I added the Digitakt 1 as a sampler to the inputs of the Syntakt and made it go through the analog drive also. That really beefs the sound up a lot. So in this example I see the Syntakt and the Digitakt 1 as one device. Well, kinda. But you know what I mean. Now I'm adding the Digitone 2. The Digitone 2 is my main melody machine. It has 16 polyphonic tracks and can sound digital and weird, but also warm and analog-ish, and it has 128 steps. So that makes it perfect to create longer chord progressions over 8 bars. You can really tell a musical story over 8 bars. So now let's try to focus on the unique features of each device. We have an analog drum machine with a big fat analog drive, we have a sampler, and we have a super capable melody machine. So let's work it like that. But first I want to show you something. I had a package in the mail the other day and I'm super impressed about what was in there. As you might know, I'm a very small channel. I do not have any sponsorships or even the slightest amount of monetization going on here. But a friend of mine who is also a fellow Elektron enthusiast told me about the Elektron Digi stands he built by himself, and he was so kind to send me some of these. Well, I said some. He actually sent me 3. Because I use 3 Digi boxes, and that's just incredible. I did pay for it though with my own money, but let me say he just gave me an insanely huge discount because he wanted to support my channel and he also wanted to have some honest opinions on that. So super big hugs going out to Mike Montana for sending me these awesome stands. They are put together very fast, they are super sturdy and have just the right angle to work with while sitting at a studio desk. They are not wobbly in any way, lightweight. He really did a great job on building them. I think he only built a small batch up till now, but I can highly recommend his stands. I will put a link in the description to his Instagram channel and the link to where you can purchase these stands in case you want one. So big shout outs going out to Mike Montana. Okay, now back to topic. So in a live setting, the Digi boxes really shine as a team. Each device can handle a specific part of your set, giving you intuitive control over transitions and improvisation. And your live workflow will strongly benefit from the concepts of seeing your device as a band. I mean, look at a band. Everyone in a band knows what his or her instrument is. Look at your setup. You have a drummer, a bass player, and a synth player with like 8 arms. Now you could add punchy analog drums and even basses with the Syntakt synth engines and the FX track. Because of the analog drive, you can get some really gritty bass lines and also 303 kind bass lines. You could use the Digitakt to trigger samples or loops, either layering samples on the analog drums of the Syntakt or introduce other weird soundscapes. You could even trigger samples live, like on an MPC, if you use the Digitakt not only as a standalone device, because then with the Digitakt One you only have 8 tracks, but if you use it in combination with other machines, you could absolutely dedicate 2 or 3 tracks to live trigger some samples. And then you could create a melodic foundation and bring melodic fills and lush chords or polyphonic pads with the Digitone 2. And because they share Elektron's streamlined performance workflow, moving between the devices feels actually natural, like playing different sections of the same instrument. So let's see how everything is put together. Here's the audio and MIDI routing and all the things we have to set up in the menu. For the MIDI integration, use one box as the brain, like in this setting. Let the Syntakt send MIDI clock and program changes to the other devices, and the next device will send it further through the next device, and so on. So for the audio routing, chain the audio inputs through one device. In this example, I have the audio from the Digitakt going into the inputs of the Syntakt to use its analog drive, and then the audio from Syntakt and Digitakt combined going out together into the inputs of the Digitone 2. Where the combined sounds from all machines gets glued together with the master compressor of the Digitone 2. Unfortunately, the Syntakt doesn't have a master compressor. I would really love to have one in there because then I would do it otherwise. But you can surely swap things out and try out different settings here. See what fits you the most. So now what you have to make sure is that in every menu setting, you set it to get the right sync. So clock receive is on here because normally it gets triggered by the octatrack for the master tempo. But you just have to take care of that clock receive and clock send, transport receive and transport send, program change receive and program change send is all set to on. So all these boxes should have a mark in there. Then we go to port config. Input and output have to be set to Midi. It doesn't have to be set to USB, but Midi is important. Now when we go to channels, just check that the auto channel is on channel 10 on all of these devices. So let's check on the Digitakt. Sync, clock send, transport receive, send, program change, receive and send. Everything set to on. Port config all to Midi and USB. Channels, auto channel is on track 10. And the same goes for the Digitone. Clock receive, clock send, transport receive, transport send, program change receive, program change send. All set to on. Port config is on Midi and USB. channels are program channel, auto channel is on channel 10. So that should be good to go. Now one last thing is on the Digitone tool. If you set it up like this, you have to go to hit function and mod on page number 1. There is the master compressor. Then you can try out your settings and then you can start to mess with the compressor. I would start with a little bit of threshold attack, very short attack, then the release maybe to 40. You have to set it up for yourself. That's not a general advice here. Just learn how a compressor functions and then set it up for yourself. Just give it a little bit more makeup volume or makeup gain, and then with this here you can set up the amount of the compressed signal against the dry signal. Just try it out and make it fit to your music. Divide the boxes like instruments in a band. Build drums, percussions and even bass lines on the Syntakt. Design leads and polyphonic stuff on the Digitone. And additionally handle sample duties of all kind with the Digitakt. If you start to think about your performance beforehand, then you can use conditional tricks, fills, mutes and the FX track on the Syntakt with one-shot triggers to add variation and keep your performance dynamic. And you can also program FX scenes on the Syntakt to hit them just in time in a live situation. Like the FX scenes on the octatrack, for example. Not so advanced, but yeah, kind of. So by embracing this ecosystem, you are not just triggering patterns live, you're orchestrating a cohesive live experience with different musicians and they all do what you want when you want it. The only disadvantage of this is you only have 2 hands. So the Elektron boxes are more than just the sum of their parts. Each one is brilliant on its own, sure, but together they are insanely powerful. If you're building tracks in the studio or performing live on stage, their synergy unlocks a world of creativity. So why choose one when you can let them play together? As someone in the Come On said lately, they are like Pokemon. You gotta catch them all. So thanks for watching again. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more workflow and production tips, and let me know in the comments which of the Digi boxes you like the most and if you use them combined together or each on its own. Anyways guys, see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.